to all the millions of people watching home, we have heard that there was a good number. Still, we haven't had the final report, but as we can see, the one very important thing with having the Olympics taking place is, of course, very many now, due to the pandemic, are suffering from mental health issues.
Correct.
And also, I can hear here in my office people, they really tell me how they were joining and gathering with family and friends to watch the Olympic Games. So it was really very good that both IOC and the Japanese people and local organizers was so brave to take it on, although there was difficulties for them to recruit volunteers because of the pandemic, and now us that they can do it in such a high level. So now we're looking forward to the Paralympics, which is taking place. I will travel back myself to Japan in some 10 days, and I will also be there for the Paralympics. But already now I read every day now on the social medias that now the players are traveling there, the athletes, because of course they are going to different pre-camps. But when it comes to the Japanese people and Tokyo in particular, it was difficult for them to take on because they have not come so long with the vaccine program as very many others. I think they are less than 10% of the population have vaccine. And as you know, in Japan, you are living very long, so they have a very old population. So, but despite that, all the people and all the people that were working as volunteers were really very helpful and happy, and I think that in the end, also Japan was on the top 4 of medalist countries. So I think that they can also be very proud in many ways, both to deliver there, also on the result of sport, and also, as I said, in table tennis to win a mixed event. So
in terms of numbers, I will quote which actually numbers is quoted by Dr. Sainath, our audience here, that he says, Dr. Sainath says that 1 billion Indian hearts actually, they pump when matches are going on, and 2 billion eyes. So this is the one number. This is the number from Dr. Sainath.
Yes, and I'm sure it is like that. So I was going to say, now there is something in the chat. Oh, there is somebody saying hi.
Yeah.
So this is what I had from the preparation, from the event itself, and general, let's say, feeling. I can say that it was an amazing experience. I was also in London 2012, in Rio in 2016, but this was very, very different in very many ways, but mainly because we were not allowed to visit other sports. We could only go for our own sport, and that is
due to
also for
due to bubble that you actually
exactly, and also for all the active players and coaches. Normally, if you are on table tennis, you might go and support some handball players or whatever. But this year, this was not allowed. But luckily, at least the athletes in the village, they stayed together, so they could anyway have the experience there mixed up, because it's of course a lifetime experience to be able to.
And you have been lucky 3 times in London, Rio, and Tokyo.
Yes. I'm very, very, very grateful for that, because it's really something very special, and the spirit and the Olympic movement itself. So we had very many, table tennis had very many guests coming from the IOC. I think 15 IOC members came to visit us. So we are also very proud that it shows that table tennis is taking serious in the program. But also this year in the Olympic Games, new sport, that's surfing and climbing and skateboard, was also taking place. I have only seen it on Japanese TV, of course, as I was not allowed to go there. But as I understood, it was also successful. So, yeah.
We have a first question coming for you, Petra, by our colleague Kushak Rastogi.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, good afternoon. I'm Prashad. Yeah, ma'am. So just out of curiosity, since you have witnessed the whole Olympics, do you feel about the Indian contingent there? Like, we were really expecting good medals, and nevertheless they did disappoint us. So what do you feel about the Indian contingent there, especially at table tennis?
I can only speak for table tennis, but in table tennis, I think you really are on your way. I mean, it was the best Olympic Games as I can see from a performance point of view, and I see that you have both. I mean, on the female side, I was watching myself when Petra was playing, and she could have gone longer in the tournament. I was not seeing when your male players played, but I know that they also had some good chances in their matches because I saw the results. And I think that what you are doing now in India is actually you're taking one step ahead every time. So I would say that the next time I would be surprised if there is not any let's say next step taken, because I see that your players are there totally new level from before. So you are on your way. So just continue. That is my message.
Okay. I'll come to Shane actually. Shane has a couple of things to share with us. Shane, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, Shane, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Madam, thank you for sharing the Olympics. I have around 5 questions. I just want to know for many of these countries that come to the Olympics and their players, how long these countries train these players? I'm sure that they have coaching camps. So what is the duration of these coaching camps, and how do they select the players specifically for the Olympics?
Yes, thank you. For the Olympic Games, there is different ways to be selected. One way is every continent have a qualification event. So you can play an event to qualify. Then also on the world level, I mean, normally in a normal period of time, the continent have their qualification event first, and then there is a global one. This year, because of the pandemic, actually it was the other way around. So the first qualification event was in Doha in March, and that's where everybody could attend. And then after that, Asia, they stayed actually in Doha and had their qualification event there. In Europe, for example, I was in Doha for this event, and then I was actually also in Portugal when Europe had theirs. So one way is to qualify through events in your continent, and then there is one other for everyone around the world. Then you can also be qualified upon your ranking points. So this is, and after you're qualified for this pathway, then your National Olympic Committee have to select you. So it's not only that you have to qualify, you also have to be selected by your own National Olympic Committee. So that's the way to be qualified. So it's difficult.
Yeah, I just wanted to know for on an average, every country, like for example, your own country, Sweden, in which you are the president of the Swedish table tennis. I just wanted to know, like, what would be the preparation, your camp time before the Olympics, or an average duration?
You mean how the athletes was preparing for the
Olympic Games? Yes. That could you shed some light on that?
I would say yes, of course. I would say that they had. I mean, first of all, normally the schedule is busy with events every weekend, but of course this year was different because of the pandemic. So, but we had, if I go from the event and backyard, we had in Japan before the games we had 1 week training camp in Fukuoka. So we traveled there because we have the time difference. So we stayed there and had training camp there before the Olympic Games. Before we went to Fukuoka, we went in Sweden to a place, Karlskrona, and had a training camp there. Before that, we had some 3-4 others. So around 5 training camps, around 5 days each one. And the last one also in Japan to be a little bit, to accumulate to the time zone, the weather, and the food and everything.
Okay. Madam, my second question is regarding the mixed doubles. It was absolutely fantastic to watch. It was the first time, of course, it was introduced. we saw many left-right combinations. In fact, the majority of the teams were left-right combinations. I just want to understand why only 16 teams were allowed. Of course, one was be the host, so technically 15. And I understand that it was some came from the Grand Tour finals of 2019, some came from the 2020, and some came by continents. So why did it limit it to only 16? Because I guess it has to be one player from the men's team and one player from the women's team that has to pair up for the mixed doubles.
Yes, I think that in general, we would love to have as many players as possible. But when it comes to the Olympic Games, we are part of the IOC program. So we are limited in how many players we can have. So that's why we had to, first of all, we have to fight to have one more event. Now we have the mixed double event there. Then we'll see if it's worth to work and fight to have more players. So in the end, we had to have started, and then we started with 16 because that was what we felt was possible to get in the program. Now we have it in the program, then we can move on and see if it's good or if it's better to another one event, because we still like to have and maybe have double, for example. As in the past, we did have doubles in the Olympic Games, but then some years ago we changed doubles to teams. But I personally like to keep teams, but then of course if we can add doubles as well. But still, then the IOC will say that we cannot have more athletes in the village. So how would you then manage this? And that could be also that we stick to have only 16 as a number. So it's restrictions from the IOC not to increase and to make the village even bigger than it is.
Okay. This question, which is just outside the Olympic, this is for all players across the world or in countries. In other countries except India, are people allowed to organize tournaments without taking the permission of the state or district or the country itself? Are you, as a club, are you just allowed to organize any open tournament without taking the permission of any of the state or district? Is it freely allowed?
It's very different from different countries. We call the national associations, as Sweden is one national association and India is another one. I'm very that the rules in India is different rules in Sweden. So I would say that this question have to be addressed to the Indian Table Tennis Association. Normally, you are allowed in a club to have small events because there is no ranking points, etc. But of course, if you want to have the event as a certified event and you want to have ranking points, then you need to go to your national association.
Basically, non-ranking tournaments, there would be no permission required in general.
Normally not, but of course India can have certain rules. That's why every country have to be. You have always to ask your own national association. But in general, normal. Okay.
And this is one. I have just two more questions. I'll just wrap it up quickly. A ranking of a foreign, if a player from India plays a foreign ranking tournament, would he be rated higher than a person of playing in the country? Means if he had if he played foreign tournaments like the ITTF tournaments, like the Qatar Open or the Doha Open or whichever tournament or Thailand Open, etc. And if he just played over there, he would get what is called participation points. So would that participation points be higher than would have a higher weightage than the national rating of a player?
Normally, yes.
Okay. And the last question is, Madam, regarding the ITTF itself. Do the ITTF have a youth committee?
Yes. Yes, and, we do. We have a junior commissioner also. So we have one who is in charge for all the junior affairs. I mean, as elected, it's Mrs. Heike Allert from Germany. But then she also have a committee with people from around, and they're working on junior matters. Yes.
So, is there any subcommittees of Asia, etc., etc.? Because from what I understand is that the Indian Federation doesn't have a youth committee?
I think that's a good question. I was in some years ago, I don't know if it was 2014 maybe, the Junior World Championships was actually in India, I think Hyderabad. And so we have had junior events, top events in India, and also a challenge earlier. But I'm not sure if India have a youth committee or not. But in ITTF, and you can find on ITTF's website all the commissions and committees. And of course, if you don't have a youth committee in India, I think you should propose it because it's very good. Our youth is our future.
Okay, Madam, thank you for your participation, and I enjoyed the conversation and the photos. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you so much.
Lokesh would like to say something.
Hello.
Lokesh.
Is I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for being such a wonderful opportunity to us, to giving you valuable presentation on today's topic. And ma'am, my question is that how we can increase the participation of girls in table tennis, especially at a grassroots level?
Thank you for that question. It's a very, very important one. In very many countries, we are lacking female players. We will have next weekend in Sweden, we invited all the North European table tennis countries to discuss this topic, how we can help each other to have more female players. We only have in Sweden around in between 10 to 15%, 10 to 15, which is not good enough. And we think that we have to work, of course, with the coaches. It's important also that they have role models, also with female coaches. But not only that, we also that girls, when they are playing table tennis, the social part is very important, and they also go very often with friends. So we need to also look into how we are practicing table tennis and how we can make it more fun and inclusive for the girls. So I really don't know. I can't tell you the best answer on this, but I think it's focus and hard work, and that we together, male and females, because it's not a female issue. It's something that it's important for all of us. So that's my answer on that. And I don't know actually how many in percentage female players you have in India, but we do have a lot of good role models. I know my player Linda Byström, she lost against an Indian player also here in the Olympic Games. So I know you have good female players, so use them as role models if you can. I think that's a good way also forward, because I think young girls need to say also top level girls playing to see that it's possible, and also if to get more female coaches and so it can also be to try to keep and involve the former athletes and to make them coaches and to create certain projects on female side. So yes, that is my very long speech, but unfortunately I don't have any quick answer.
Petra, we have a question from Dr. SSC. I don't know his full name because I'm meeting him for the first time in Zoom. Mr. Dr. SSC.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Myself, Dr. Somshankar Chatterjee. Actually, I just kept it. Good evening, Petra ma'am. It's nice to hear your experience from Olympics. I just love to hear from one thing, that you are from the land of the great Swedish player, Jan Weberner, and then Michael Appelgren and Jürgen Persson. They're all are legend, even Glenn, all are legend. So why right now, why these teams are lacking, or why they are well in the top, though they are still number 5 in ITTF rank, but still.
Yes, and of course we like to win again. We did have, I mean, in 2019, Falk was in the World Championships, which is actually very good, silver. And in 2018, we took bronze in the World Championships for teams. Here in the Tokyo Olympics, our goal was, again, of course, to take a medal. We lost in the quarterfinal against Japan. Japan was seeded before us, so we did do according to our ranking, but we were anyway very disappointed because we felt like we were lucky with the draw not to play against China. And we think that we can, when we have a good day in the team, we can beat Japan. So I agree with you. We, of course, with our tradition, we like to keep a result. But as you all know, result comes after hard work, and we're working very hard. So we can see now that we are again taking medals. We do have good young players, and we also have Jörgen Persson as the national team coach. So with all his experience, because one very important thing, in my opinion, is to keep the knowledge inside the community and to use all this experience. Michael Appelgren, as you mentioned, he was commentating TV for Tokyo in our sports television. He's in that area. Erik Lind was a former coach also, and now we have Jörgen Persson. So still we think that we can, by this, to bring them and to let them stay in table tennis in different positions, we can keep the knowledge. And then it's always very difficult to deliver the result. But I think I have an amazing team of table tennis players here in Sweden, so I believe in them.
Petra, now we have only 2 minutes left, so yes. I'll just invite Dr. Sainath here. He wants to say something, and just 2 minutes left for the meeting. Dr. Sainath. I think he's busy. Mr. Satyamurthy.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Sainath, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I have a little difficulty in communicating with you. So I am not able to tell you what my opinions are. Please kindly let me hear today, and I will tell my opinion.
Okay. Mr. Satyamurthy would like to say something?
Yeah. Good evening to all. Good evening to all.
Hi.
I am very much pleased and honored to have interaction with you. One of the high dignitaries of ITTF. Really, I must thank Mr. Ajay ji for arranging for this session. One question, madam. In some of the disciplines, they have given bronze medals to both the loser semi-finalists. But it is an individual event. In India, we are giving bronze medals to both the loser semi-finalists. Why don't ITTF have this matter? Because after severe practice and so many hurdles, they are reaching to Olympic. They have performed very well and they have come up to this level, semi-final. But they are deprived of medal. This is a question I want to raise to ITTF.
And I fully agree with you. And myself, I'm working. I was working on it in several meetings that I had, because I really think it's very tough for those reaching the semi-final and be without medal. And we did address it. I did address it myself to those IOC members that came to visit us. And still they say that in racket sport, it's only in contact sports where they give 2 medals, not in racket sports. But we have now 2 medals in Paralympics for bronze. So we will keep up the 2 medals also for the Olympic Games in the future. So for